The great space station of the Zircon Empire floated quietly above a dying star. It was a place full of strange shapes and bright lights, with many halls and rooms. The station was home to many aliens from different worlds, but the most important of all lived in the royal wing, the home of the alien king and his daughter, Princess Alira. Alira was famous across many planets. She was very beautiful. Her skin shone like stars, her eyes were like glowing gems, and her long hair moved like waves in space. Everyone who saw her stopped and stared. But there was one thing about her that no one could fix. She was always hungry, but she never wanted to eat. For days, Princess Alira refused all the meals her cooks prepared. The food of the Zircon Empire was rich and strange. It smelled strong and looked colorful, but she said it was dry and tasteless. The cooks tried everything: roasted starfish, glowing fruit, spiced asteroid meat, but nothing pleased her. Her father, the alien king, grew angry and worried. "Why does my daughter starve herself?" he roared in his deep voice. The king was a tall, strong alien with many eyes and horns. He ruled many star systems and was proud of his empire. But now, even his power could not make his daughter eat. Alira lay on her golden bed, her stomach growling. She looked outside the window at the burning star. "I want to feel alive," she whispered, "not just eat food that tastes like cold stone." Far away on the same station, in a smaller and simpler part, a young human named Ethan worked hard in a small kitchen. He was a chef, sent from Earth as part of the Earth's embassy. He loved to cook simple food that reminded him of home grilled cheese sandwiches, pancakes, curry, and cookies. He dreamed of sharing his food with the galaxy. One day while Ethan cooked a grilled cheese sandwich, the smell traveled through the air vents. It slipped quietly into the royal wing and touched the princess's nose. Alira's eyes opened wide. The smell was warm and rich. It was different from any food she had ever known. Her stomach growled again, louder this time. Curious, she rose from her bed and followed the smell. She moved quietly through the halls, past guards and servants. Nobody stopped her. She was the princess, after all. She found the small kitchen. Door slightly open. Inside, a young man with messy brown hair and bright eyes was flipping a sandwich on a hot pan. Alira stepped inside, surprising Ethan. "What is this smell?" she asked, her voice soft but strong. Ethan looked up, shocked. To see an alien princess in his kitchen? "It's grilled cheese," he said shyly, "from Earth." Alira's mouth watered. "I want to try," Ethan hesitated. Had never cooked for royalty before. But he saw hunger in her eyes, not just for food, but for something more. He gave her a small piece of the sandwich. Alira bit into it. Her eyes grew wide. The cheese was warm and gooey. The bread was crispy. The taste was alive and bright in her mouth. She ate more, faster and faster. For the first time in days, the princess smiled. "You must make more," she said, almost a command. Ethan laughed nervously. "I'm just a chef. I don't belong in your palace." But Alira's smile did not fade. "I will make you my personal food maker. If you refuse, I will tell my father to cut Earth from the list of friendly planets." Ethan blinked. "That's a lot of power for a sandwich." Alira stood tall. "I am a princess. I am hungry." Ethan had no choice. He began to cook. Every day for the princess. Pancakes with honey, tomato soup with herbs, spicy noodles, and sweet cookies. Each day, Alira ate more and laughed more. Her eyes sparkled with life again. The cooks in the palace whispered. The princess was changing. The alien king was told, but did not believe it. One day, the king came to the kitchen himself. He crossed his many arms. "Human, why do you feed my daughter these strange meals?" Ethan bowed. "Your Majesty, I only wish to share Earth's flavors." The king's many eyes narrowed. "I will try your food." Ethan smiled nervously and prepared a simple meal, grilled cheese and soup. The king tasted it slowly, then nodded once. "Not bad. But my daughter, she must eat the food of the empire." Alira laughed from behind her father. "Father, the empire's food was dead. Earth food makes me feel alive." The king looked at his daughter and then at Ethan. Very well, he said. But if your food cannot impress the Intergalactic Council at the Great Peace Banquet, you will lose your place here, and my daughter will lose her chef. Ethan swallowed hard. The challenge was big, but so was the chance. Illyra smiled. Then let us prepare. After the king's challenge, the air on the Zircon space station was full of nervous energy. The Great Peace Banquet was only days away. This banquet was a huge event where many alien leaders would meet to decide important things for the galaxy. If Ethan, the human chef, could impress them with Earth food, the Earth Embassy would gain respect and better relations. But if he failed, Earth's chances in the galaxy would suffer. Ethan felt the pressure. He was a simple chef from a small planet now tasked to cook for many strange aliens with different tastes and cultures. He spent long hours in the small Earth kitchen, planning menus and cooking samples. Illyra, the princess, was no longer the hungry, unhappy girl of before. She had started to smile again. She was curious and eager to learn about Earth food. Watched Ethan cook and asked questions about spices, ingredients, and recipes. One morning, Lyra walked into the kitchen, her eyes bright. "Ethan," she said, "I want to help you." Ethan looked surprised. "You want to cook?" Illyra nodded. "Yes, I want to learn about Earth food. I want to help you impress the council." Ethan smiled. "Then we will start today." They began with simple things. Boiling water for pasta, mixing dough for bread, frying eggs. Illyra's hands were graceful, but she was new to Earth cooking. She made mistakes, but laughed at them. Together, they made pancakes with syrup, sandwiches with cheese and meat, and a sweet dessert called cookies. Illyra tasted everything with excitement. "This food is warm and full of life," she said. "Is different from the cold, dry meals of my world," Ethan explained. "On Earth, food is more than fuel. It is comfort. It brings people together." Illyra thought about this. She began to feel connected to the human way of life. She wanted more than the royal life. She wanted friendship and joy. But not everyone was happy with this change in the royal halls. The alien king grew suspicious. His daughter was smiling too much. She even gained some weight, which was strange for a princess who had refused food. "Tell me everything about this human chef." The king ordered his guards. The guards reported. Ethan was clever and kind, but not a warrior or a politician. He had no special powers, just strange Earth spices and simple food. The king was not sure what to think. Meanwhile, news of the banquet spread quickly. The Great Peace Banquet was a big event. Many species would come to taste food from across the galaxy. It was a chance for politics, alliances, and secrets. The king said to Ethan, "If you can prepare a meal that pleases the council, Earth will gain honor. But fail, and Earth loses all favor." Ethan accepted the challenge. He worked hard every day, testing recipes and ingredients. Some aliens liked spicy food, some liked sweet, some liked sour or bitter. Ethan had to make food that could please many tastes. One afternoon, while Ethan was mixing sauces, Illyra brought him a basket of fresh zircon fruits. "Try this," she said, handing him a shiny red fruit. Ethan took a bite. The fruit was sweet and juicy with a tangy taste unlike anything on Earth. "This is amazing," Ethan said. Illyra smiled. "My people have many foods you have never seen. Maybe we can mix our flavors." Together they began to experiment. They combined Earth spices with zircon ingredients. They made new dishes, a spicy fruit stew, a sweet and sour salad, and glowing dessert balls. Illyra loved the kitchen. She felt alive and free, but trouble was coming. In the darker corners of the station, a rival alien chef watched with envy. His name was Varnock, from the Varnock Empire, a strong enemy of the Zircon. He hated the idea of a human impressing the council and gaining favor. Varnock planned to ruin Ethan's chances, sent spies to steal recipes and sabotage the kitchen. One night Varnock's spies sneaked into the Earth kitchen. They swapped sugar with salt and damaged the ovens. The next morning, Ethan was shocked. His sweet sauces tasted salty. His dough would not rise. His oven was cold. He panicked. Illyra arrived and saw the mess. "This is sabotage," she said angrily. "We Must find another way, Ethan said. Alira thought for a moment. My people have special spices and cooking tools. Maybe they can help. They went to the royal storage rooms and found rare ingredients, glowing herbs, sweet crystals, and ancient cooking pots. Ethan used these with his earth spices to make new dishes. They practiced all day and night. The banquet day came. The giant hall was full of aliens from many planets. Bright lights shone on the tables filled with food. Ethan was nervous. He stood beside Alira and watched the guests taste their dishes. At first the room was quiet. Then, slowly, smiles appeared. Aliens from many different worlds tasted the food. Some cried tears of joy. Others laughed and talked excitedly. The food united them. The alien king stood and said, "This human chef has done what many warriors could not. He has united us through taste." The room cheered loudly. Ethan and Alira smiled. Their hard work had paid off. But the story was not over. The king called Ethan to his side. "You will be rewarded," he said. "But first you must prepare for a new challenge." After the great peace banquet, the Zircon space station was filled with excitement. The aliens from many worlds had tasted Ethan's food. They cheered and smiled. Peace talks went well, and the Earth Embassy's position grew stronger. Everyone spoke about the human chef who had brought new hope with his cooking, but the alien king still had doubts. He sat in his throne room, his many eyes watching Ethan closely. The king was a strong leader, used to trusting only warriors and generals. How could a simple human cook change the fate of galaxies? The king called Ethan to the royal chambers. Ethan bowed deeply before the great throne.
"Your Majesty," he
said humbly. The king's voice was low and serious. "Human, I see you have skill with food, but can your cooking win battles? Can it protect the empire?" Ethan smiled. "Your Majesty, food may not fight with weapons, but it can bring peace, friendship, and trust. That is stronger than any sword." The king considered this. "Very well, if your food is so powerful. Prove it again. The Intergalactic Council will meet soon. There, you will cook a feast for all the leaders." Ethan nodded. The Intergalactic Council was a place where the greatest leaders met to make decisions about the galaxy's future. Impressing them was a great honor and a great challenge. Ethan returned to the kitchen. Alira was waiting. "You must prepare your best dishes," she said. "The council members come from many planets. They have different tastes. Some like spicy food. Some like sweet. Some like nothing we know." Ethan sighed. "This is harder than I thought." Alira smiled. "Then we must learn more." Together, they studied the customs and tastes of many alien species. They asked diplomats and traders about the food from their worlds. Ethan took notes and planned menus. One day Alira surprised Ethan with a gift, a small book from Earth about spices and flavors. "This will help," she said. Ethan was grateful. He spent hours mixing spices, tasting sauces, and cooking new recipes. He made dishes for the slug-like drakethons, with soft textures and mild flavors. For the fire-breathing krill, he made cold dishes to calm their heat. For the amphibious marn, he cooked seaweed and sweet fruits. Alira helped too. She learned quickly. Her hands moved with skill and care. She added zircon spices to Earth recipes, creating new tastes no one had tried before, but their success made enemies. Varnock, the rival alien chef from the Varnock Empire, was furious. His empire had lost respect because of a human's cooking. Varnock planned to stop Ethan. By any means, he sent spies to steal Ethan's recipes. He sent poison gas to the kitchen vents. He even tried to bribe the kitchen staff to sabotage the food. One evening, Ethan found his ingredients missing. The secret spice jars were gone. He searched the kitchen and found a broken jar on the floor. "This is sabotage," Ethan said angrily. Alira's eyes flashed with fire. "You will not let Varnock win." They worked harder. They searched the station for new ingredients. Alira found hidden herbs in the palace gardens. Ethan mixed these with earth spices to create secret recipes. The day of the Intergalactic Council feast arrived. The great hall was decorated with shining banners and glowing lights. Leaders from dozens of planets sat at long tables. Ethan and Alira stood in the kitchen, ready to begin. Suddenly, alarms sounded. The kitchen doors locked automatically. A voice announced, "Sabotage detected. No one may leave." Varnick's spies had set a trap. Ethan's heart raced. We must finish the feast or lose everything. Alira looked around and saw a small window near the ceiling. "We can use that to pass food," she said. Ethan nodded. They prepared dishes quickly: steamed vegetables with glowing herbs, spicy fruit stew, sweet crystal desserts. Alira climbed to the window and passed plates to helpers outside. The feast began at the tables. The leaders tasted the food at first. They were silent. Then, a Drakthon leader smiled and said, "This is food fit for peace." A Krill chief nodded. "It cools the fire inside me." The Marn ambassador laughed. "I have never tasted such joy." The council applauded. The alien king stood and said, "Human, you have shown strength beyond battle. You have united us through taste and courage." Varnick's plan failed. The spies were caught and expelled. The council passed a new treaty, promising peace and trade. The king turned to Ethan. "You have earned a place in this empire. But the galaxy is full of challenges. You must always be ready." Ethan smiled. "I will serve with food and heart." Alira took Ethan's hand. "Together, we will bring new life to the stars." The day of the great banquet had finally come. It was the biggest event the galaxy had ever seen. Aliens from hundreds of planets traveled through space to the massive floating hall, orbiting the dying star. The hall was huge, filled with long tables covered in shining cloths and glowing lights. The air buzzed with excitement and whispers. Ethan stood in the large kitchen, his hands shaking a little. The smell of spices and cooked food filled the room. He looked at Alira, the princess, who would become his partner in this journey. Her bright eyes gave him courage. "Are you ready?" Ethan asked. Alira smiled. "Yes. Let's show them the taste of Earth and the stars." They worked quickly, cooking dishes for many kinds of aliens. There were sliders made of soft meat for the slug-like Drakthons, cold ice creams for the fire-breathing krill, and sweet glowing desserts for the tiny, curious Marn. Every dish was made with care, and a mix of earth spices and zircon ingredients. But danger was not far. In the shadows, Varnock, the rival chef from the Varnock Empire, watched with hatred. He could not stand that a human and an alien princess worked together to steal the show. He planned to ruin the banquet. As Ethan and Alira prepared the final dishes, Varnock's spies entered the kitchen. They moved quickly and quietly. One swapped the sugar with salt in the dessert jars. Another broke the oven's heating coil. The last released a cloud of stink bugs into the pantry. When Ethan came back to the kitchen, he saw disaster. His sauces tasted bitter. The dough for the bread would not rise. The oven was cold and useless. And worst of all, the stink bugs flew everywhere, making the cooks cough and wave their hands. Ethan felt his heart drop. "We're ruined," he whispered. Alira took charge. "We cannot give up now," she said firmly. "We will use the secret ingredients of my people. They are powerful and new to the others." They searched the palace stores and found glowing herbs that could add flavor and light. They found ancient pots that could cook with little heat but great power. They found sweet crystals that could replace sugar. Together, Ethan and Alira began to cook again, faster and better. They mixed earth spices with zircon magic. They created new dishes no one had seen before. The kitchen filled with amazing smells. Outside, the banquet hall was already full. Hundreds of alien leaders sat at the long tables waiting for the feast. Ethan looked at Alira. "Can we do this?" Alira smiled. "We must." At last, the food was ready. Alira carried the glowing fruit stew. Ethan brought the spicy ice cream. Helpers passed the plates through the kitchen's secret windows and doors. The guests tasted the dishes. At first, many were silent, surprised by the new flavors and strange colors. Then smiles spread across the hall. Aliens whispered and laughed. They chewed slowly, enjoying the warm, exciting tastes. A slug-like Drakthon cried. I have never tasted such joy. The fire-breathing krill cooled their mouths and smiled. This food is perfect. The Marn ambassador danced happily. You have made magic with food. The great banquet was a success. The alien king stood and raised his voice. Today, a human has shown strength greater than armies. With food and courage, he has united us. Varnak's plan was exposed. His spies were caught and taken away. The Varnak Empire faced shame. The leaders signed a new peace treaty. Trade routes opened. Old enemies shook hands. Ethan and Alira looked at each other, proud and happy. The king came to Ethan. You have done well. The galaxy will remember this day. Ethan bowed. Thank you, your majesty. I only cooked with heart. The princess smiled and took Ethan's hand. Together, we will bring new life and hope to the stars. After the great banquet, the Zircon space station was alive with celebration. The peace treaty had been signed. Aliens from many worlds were talking about the new friendship with Earth and the human chef who had made it happen. The alien king stood tall on his throne. His many eyes looked over the crowd. Everyone waited for his words. Ethan Reyes, the king said, you have done more for the Empire than 10 generals. You have united worlds with your food and your courage. For this, I offer you a great honor. He paused and said loudly, Ethan, you shall receive Zircon citizenship. You will be given royal honors and a grand place in the Empire. You will be the founder of the first galactic restaurant. Your food will be known across the stars. The crowd cheered. Ethan felt his heart pound. This was more than he had ever dreamed. But Ethan smiled gently, stepped forward and said, Thank you, your majesty. I am honored. But my greatest wish is simple. I want to keep cooking for those who enjoy it. And if I may, I would like to ask Princess Alira to visit Earth. The hall grew silent. The princess's name had never left the Empire. Her traveling to Earth was a huge step. The king looked at his daughter. Alira stepped forward and spoke, with calm confidence. Father, I accept your offer. I want to learn Earth's ways and share our cultures, but I will take part in Earth's kitchen trials to prove myself worthy. The king smiled with pride. Very well, if you pass. The trials? You may visit Earth and learn their secrets. The story of Ethan and Alira soon became legend. People talked about the human chef who saved the galaxy with food, and the princess who found joy and freedom through flavors. Months later, Ethan and Alira arrived on Earth. The princess marveled at the green forests, the blue oceans, and the busy cities. She entered a small-town kitchen, ready for the kitchen trials. Ethan was by her side. He smiled and said, Let's cook together, princess. They worked as a team, mixing spices, kneading dough, and tasting new recipes. Alira's eyes shone with happiness. She was no longer just a princess, starved and lonely. She was a cook, a learner, a friend. Together they would bring new hope to the stars, one meal at a time.